Live from the Cactus Creek at Ibri, he is the king of prime time, Ghana's undisputed entertainment laureate, and still the youngest old man in Ghana. Put your hands together, show some love for the indefatigable KSM.
KSM Show.
Okay, folks, we're back again this Friday evening, and I'm talking to a gentleman, and I'm telling you, man, this man inspires me. His story is captivating. His story is inspirational. I want you to take a quick look at this, say, fleet of cars in front of his office. Just take a quick look at this. And you're asking, okay, KSM, why the cars? Well, I'm weaving a story here. You know, he started with one car. Now he's ended up with 21, and he's working on what he calls precise mobility. And it's amazing what this guy is doing. Let me introduce him, and we'll have a chat, and you'll learn more and more about this amazing gentleman. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome my good friend, Mr. Kwadwo Amono. To love, man. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir, for having me.
But the pleasure is mine. The pleasure is mine. I always have a problem. The middle name is Omono.
Omono. You know, every Asamoah is either Omono or Kokote.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
okay.
Every Asamoah is Omono.
Omono.
Yeah.
So folks, I just got educated on live TV. We are looking at Kwadwo Omono Asamoah. Kwadwo, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, trust me, we're going to delve into your amazing story.
Thank you.
Okay, folks, we're going to take a break right now. When we come back, Kwadwo is in the house. We'll be right back.
The KSM Show.
Okay, folks, and from Hollard Life Assurance, we've been talking about the great Mibambo. And I was going through some of the questions that people ask frequently about this whole Mibambo product. And one of the questions is this: how do you add a beneficiary to the list? Because, you know, I always say that if there's any accident, you are covered. Or if you have named the beneficiary is also covered. And people are asking, how do you name the beneficiary? Please just go through the voice prompts, and there's going to be a segment that's going to ask you whether you have any other person that you want to include, and go ahead and include the details. But like I always say, if you have any problems, you're better off talking directly to their agent on the hotline. The hotline is 0302 799 788. And by the way to access the Hollard Life Assurance Mibambo product is simply having a Vodafone chip. Once you have a Vodafone chip, just insert the chip and dial *269#. And then follow the voice prompts. Go through it, okay? All right, and you have the hotline in case you want to speak directly to a representative.
Mommy, I have 2 boys in my home. See, my leg is broken. The hospital bill, they are finished. My house money, all they are disconnected. So what for no money? You come and say it now, mommy.
Mibambo life insurance and tip and was me. A player to me, I did a year, I did chance for my body. Uko first cover him. Me catch the book and banku. With little money like 1 city. So when you are some year or catch him say insurance dear. A big man talk. You just dial *269. No about hash. Where we
always is a chicken. It's a chicken.
With 1 Ghana cedi, 5 Ghana cedis, 15 Ghana cedis, or 30 Ghana cedis per month, you can get up to 30,000 Ghana cedis for funeral and disability cost. Dial *269# to sign up via Vodafone Cash today. Mibambo, insurance made for you.
Located in the calm green hills of Ibri is Ghana's best.
Make your reservation. We have some new numbers. And the new numbers are 0302 955 432
or 0302 965 460.
The best decision you'll ever make. Welcome home.
Also at Cactus, Wednesdays are called this pizza special. Charlie, we need a brief pizza on Wednesday at Cactus, then you haven't had the best pizza. And there's a special run, and if you buy one large pizza, you can get a second one at 50% discount. So let me see you there on Wednesday. Let's get some brief pizza, amazing Cactus Creek pizza.
Paul's Fitness Center, the premier destination for fitness in Ghana. Meet the indefatigable captain.
There are 3 things that I love doing. Number 1, workout. Number 2, workout. Number 3, workout. Workout put mind, soul, and body together.
The captain has spoken.
We're getting busy. Bright lights, yeah, they make me dizzy. Logo Liggy. I just want the Lizzie. It's a Logo Liggy. Uptown, chasing for the Lizzie. Downtown, everybody busy. Logo Liggy. Like be Logo Liggy. I just want the
Paul's Fitness Center, East Legon Branch, Lizzie Sports Complex, Cotton Street, East Legon, Accra, Ghana, 0302 519 675. Kumasi branches, Officers Mess Branch, Denyame, Major Kobina Drive, Kumasi, 0541 871 602. Golden Tulip, Kumasi City Branch, Raintree Street, 0322 492 647. Paul's, the premier destination for fitness in Ghana.
Say what lie we for on town.
Most of you are loving my jacket. Mr. Sao, I am if rough. The jacket is provided by KSM Essentials. So if you want some, this is the number to call, 0209 059 215. So call KSM and get yourself a pretty decent jacket.
The KSM Show.
You're back. Before I even get into your story, right? You have a very, very interesting story in the background there. You are the only Ghanaian I know, maybe there are others, but I don't know them. You are the only Ghanaian I know who was deported from Taiwan and sent to the U.S.A.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
If you can't, there are others. Yeah.
How did that happen?
Well, again, thank you for having me on the show. I'm really honored. So back in 1990s, I had an uncle, Wadiansa. He was living in New York, and may his soul rest in peace. He actually wanted to help me travel outside the country. And of course, I didn't care where I go at the time because I just wanted to move out after doing the national service.
You just wanted to get out of Ghana, period.
Yeah, because I wasn't ready to go back to university at the time. I had everything to go there, but for funding, which we can probably talk about it later on. But long story short, he got me a visa from the U.S. to Taiwan. And I left Taiwan 22 years ago, or maybe a little more. But at the time, nobody in Taiwan had papers. They don't give papers. I don't know about now if the situation has changed. But when we were there, every immigrant or foreigner in Taiwan was illegal. And they would do a swoop every now and then. So one night we were working, and then the police came in and arrested us. Now, because my uncle got the visa from U.S., I told them, it's okay to deport me. I don't have any problem going back to where I came from. But if you look at my passport, I came from the U.S. and that is where I'm going. And they said, okay. And so that is the story that brought me to the U.S.
Oh, wow. Because I was wondering, now how did they deport the guy from Taiwan and he went to the U.S.? Okay.
Yeah.
So the visa was acquired from there.
From New York. And so I had the evidence that I live in New York, because otherwise I wouldn't have had a visa from the New York embassy, Taiwan embassy in New York.
Okay. So now they send you to New York.
Right.
And on your arrival there, do you go through any wahala, like, why are you in New York? You are Ghanaian.
No, those days you could seek asylum. So right at the airport, I sought asylum, and I was granted asylum
at the airport.
Right at the airport. When you get out from the plane, you have to go through immigration process. And so I went through the processes, and they asked me, so why are you here? And I told them, hey, I have a problem and I'm coming here. So they grant me the asylum status, which is what I lived with for a long time before I got my.
Whoa. And so what reason do you give for asylum? Do you not have to prove anything? You just tell them, I have a problem at home? Or
Yeah. It was easier then, because remember, we had a military rule. Rawlings was 1991, 92. Rawlings was on, and so you could just say anything, to to get away with it, and that's exactly what happened.
I see.
I wasn't alone. They were granting asylum to a lot of immigrants from other countries, Ghana and all West African countries, or perhaps maybe African countries. I'm not sure, but it was very easy to get asylum at the time.
I see. It reminds me of a joke somebody was telling me. When somebody started a movement against the LTGT, and there was a running joke that, hey, don't worry, just get to the US and declare that you are being hunted because you're gay. And
Exactly. and that could probably land the person in the US if they decide to do so.
Okay. Anyway, let's come back. So you are in Taiwan, you've been deported to the US. You went through many things, but what I want to focus on now is eventually starting this business, which is growing really remarkably. And I hear is even attracting other bigger interests. You are into precise mobility, which is transportation for the. Explain a little bit about what you set up.
Well, Precise Mobility Solutions is a transportation company. It is non-emergency medical transportation company. In the U.S., we have two of them. We have emergency medical transportation, which is the EMS, and we have the non-emergency medical transportation, which is what we are into. So what we do is we pick up individuals. They can be handicapped, they can be elderly, they can be anybody that the insurance will pay. We just pick them up, drop them off at the doctor's office, and when they're done, we bring them back home.
So it's called non-emergency
medical transportation.
Non-emergency medical transportation.
Right. We don't deal with anything that is emergency.
Okay. So basically, their clients are like the elderly, the disabled.
Yes.
Okay. Who have an appointment to get to the hospital, but they don't have transportation to get there. And then you step in?
Not exactly. Sometimes they may have transportation. We have pickup individuals that have 2 or 3 cars in their garage, but they have that insurance benefit that they want to use. So it's not necessarily that they don't have vehicles. They do have vehicles, but they have insurance benefit that they want to tap into. Instead of using their own vehicle, they want to use us to So it's convenience for some of them. However, we do have a good number of them that do not have vehicles, like the elderly. Because of age, they can drive for some reason. And the handicapped, of course, they cannot drive. So we picked up everybody, people from all walks of life. They don't have to be handicapped. All we care about is they have the insurance and the ability to pay us. So long as we get the trip, we transport them.
Being from Ghana, going to the States, it's not one of those areas that you hear Ghanaians get into, non-emergency medical transportation. It's quite different from what you normally know Ghanaians get there and get into. What inspired you? What was the motivation behind getting into non-emergency transportation?
Well, I'm a registered nurse by profession. I'm a nurse practitioner now, but I was doing travel nursing, and I went into a small village in Ohio. It's called Greenville. I was working in the emergency room. One early morning, I sat there and I saw a company The name, I think, is Spirit Transportation. So they were coming in and picking up people like flies. Every 5 minutes, they come in, pick up somebody, they drop off somebody else. And I'm like, okay, so why can't I do something like this? We had just returned from Ghana. We came to Ghana 2008. We started a business in Kumasi Medical Laboratory. It did not work out. So 2014, we transitioned back to the U.S. and we wanted to do something. I was kind of tired of nursing, so I wanted to do some business. And I was looking. I didn't want to go into home care and any other allied health business at the time. So I sat there and I watched this company come in and pick up people all the time. And I said, okay. One morning I said, why can't I do this? So I started doing a research about it. And luckily I had a staff that I was working with that morning. And it turns out her brother owns that spirit company. So she gave me the number to talk to the brother. I spoke to the brother and he said, okay, you can either do the emergency medical transportation or the non-emergency medical transportation. But he advised me to go to the non-emergency medical transportation because the requirements were pretty easy compared to the emergency medical transportation. So that was where the idea came in. And I right away called my wife and I said, hey, I think I found something we can do. And the next day we registered the company back in 2015. And here we are.
And when you registered it as Precise Mobility, straight
Yes,
up?
sir. Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. I'm still thinking, so when you talk to the staff member who happened to be a brother, and he was telling you about some of the things, how ready were you? Because this is transportation sort of business, non-emergency transportation. So you needed cars, you needed some kind of automobile to convey them back and forth. How ready were you when you decided you wanted to get into it?
Well, in terms of financial resources, we were not really resourced at the time. We had just returned from Ghana, remember? So we had actually lost over $250,000 in the business that we set up in Ghana. So we had pretty much come back to start life from the beginning, so to speak. So we were not resourced at the time, but we were focused in doing what we decided to do. And so we had the vision, we had the energy, and we took the risk without actually having anything. So we started with one vehicle at a time. Yeah.
And now you have about 21 of them?
Yes, our fleet volume is now 21.
Fantastic.
We have room to add more if we need to.
Yeah. Very quickly, because this keeps coming up that you are trying to go back to Ghana to set up a business there. What exactly did you want to get into when you went to Ghana?
Well, I went to Ghana to do a medical laboratory business. So we set up a business that was called Becomer's Lab. Back in 2008, 2009, and 10, it was known in Kumasi. But we had to leave because I think in 2011, Atta Mills brought a capitation, National Health Insurance capitation, and it did not work for us. We were losing money, so we had to let it go. And so in 2014, we decided, okay, enough is enough. We had so much money tied up with the National Health Insurance. They were not paying us. And we couldn't stay in business. And of course, the doomsday came in and all that stuff.
Oh, so that crippled the business.
That actually crippled the business. And we had to make a decision right there and then. And
so when you came back to America, you had already spent $250,000 that you had saved. And
yeah, and that is how much money I think went into that business. Eventually, we actually added a hospital with a group of others. We had about 14 people. We added a hospital to the lab. Yeah, in Kumasi, yes, in Rome to be precise. But of course, that did not also work out. So eventually, we broke up, and everybody went their separate ways, and we decided to go into the medical transportation when we returned.
Oh, okay. So you came back, and whilst at work, you discovered this medical transportation gig that you said, I want to get into.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So you called your wife, she's your working, and told her, and she said, great, let's do it.
Yeah, immediately, it was interesting. The moment I told her, she said, okay, I'll be doing the dispatching, which is what she's doing and doing it great. I'll be doing the dispatching, and we had another friend in mind that we wanted to talk to. So I called that friend, and he said, "Okay, I'm not interested." Fine. So the idea was that her and the friend's wife will be dispatchers while we also do the administrative work. But the friends backed out, and so it was just me and her. And so she took out the dispatch, and she's now the head of operations and dispatching.
Oh, for Precise Mobility.
Yes.
He's head of operations and dispatching.
Yes.
Fantastic. And did you guys meet in Ghana and then go to the US to do the business, or you met over when you were in the US?
No, I met her here in 2003.
What's her background? Why was she also so interested in?
No, she's not a nurse. I believe in Ghana she was into banking or something. So she came here and she was working at the bank when I met her.
But when you met her, they said she was at the bank.
She was working at the bank, yeah.
Okay. How did you convince her to leave her bank, which is more like a comfort zone and a solid setup, to enter into this terrain, which was very new and untested?
Well, remember we went to Ghana. I was able to convince her that we need to move to Ghana because this is my thing, okay? When I was a nurse, I was working at the bedside, and one day I had a Jewish patient, and he told me this. He said, he asked me actually, are you planning on getting into business? And I said, no. And he said, listen, you don't get rich for working for someone. You don't get rich from working for someone. So he said, no matter how much the person pays you, they make profit off you.
Wow. Okay.
And so it's better you look for something. I had that statement stuck with me for a long time, but I wasn't bold enough to start something. And so when we finally decided to go to Ghana and things did not work out and we came back, now I had that business enthusiasm to do something. And so I had to convince her, say, okay, it's going to be a challenge, of course, but I think it's better we work for ourselves than to work for someone.
Fantastic. And she bought into the idea. And today she's the operations manager, did you say? Ahead of this match? Yes. Fantastic. This is just a quick question. This is, by the way,
Sure.
There you are, man and wife, also business partners.
Yeah.
How smooth is it to get the business as a business thing and the family as a family thing? Do they usually cross lines, and how do you handle it?
Well, they spill over every now and then. Issues from the business can spill over to the family life and vice versa. But we have consciously decided that we will not discuss anything business related at home. And we will not consciously discuss anything home related at the office. So we try to separate the two, but there's a fine line between the two, and sometimes they cross over. So we have sometimes issues from the house that goes to the home and the other way around.
Yeah.
But obviously we have decided that we don't talk about anything business. When we go home, we are spouse. When we come to the business, we are partners.
Fantastic. So how many people are in your company employed? What's the strength of the strength size?
Currently, we have 26 employees.
What's the composition?
I would say about 60% are Ghanaians, our own brothers, and I have a few drivers from Somalia. I have a driver from Jamaica. I have a staff from Morocco, and I have a few African American drivers too. Yeah.
Wow, that is fantastic. That is fantastic. And the usual thing, like coming from the third world country, getting into the United States, even just hustling your way through during the normal 9 to 5 is wahala. But to create a business, were there any major stumbling blocks because you are from Ghana and Black? Or what were the setbacks that you think were related to where you're coming from and maybe your race?
Well, race always plays a factor in America. It doesn't matter how you slice it. There are times when it's obvious, and there are times that it's very obscure. Either way, you experience racism everywhere you go, being that you're black. But I have also decided that I don't use the race card to take advantage of anything. And so
you don't play the race card game?
No, I don't, because it can only work for you for so long. Eventually, it's going to backfire. For example, you have an issue with, let's say, a big company, a contract with a company, and something happened between you and the company, and you use the race card. You can get what you want at the time, but it means you can go back to that same company to get a contract in the future, because they will be afraid to work with you when knowing that your history was part of a fact that you have been involved using race or playing the race card to take advantage of certain things. So you may not be able to get what you want, sometimes. And so I decided I won't use the race card, but I have had so many opportunities that I could use the race card to get away with it, but I don't. I don't, no.
Okay. That is fantastic. I'm going to take a commercial break here. And when we come back, it's interesting. I wanted to begin with precise mobility and what we have worked so hard to set up. And then when we take the commercial break, I want to go a little bit back into how your early beginnings, because I know that growing up was tough and you went through a lot to get to where you are, So we're going to take a commercial break, but when we come back, let's go a little bit further back and see how it all started. Okay, folks, you're tuning to the KSM show. We're taking a commercial break right now. When we come back, more of Kwadwo Asamoah. We'll be right back.
The KSM Show.
Okay, folks, and from Hollard Life Assurance, we've been talking about the great Mibambo. And I was going through some of the questions that people ask frequently about this whole Mibambo product. And one of the questions is this: how do you add a beneficiary to the list? Because I always say that if there's any accident, you are covered. Or if you have named the beneficiary is also covered. And people are asking, how do you name the beneficiary? Please just go through the voice prompts, and there's going to be a segment that's going to ask you whether you have any other person that you want to include, and go ahead and include the details. But like I always say, if you have any problems, you're better off talking directly to their agent on the hotline. The hotline is 0302 799 788. And by the way to access the Hollard Life Assurance Mibambo product is simply having a Vodafone chip. Once you have a Vodafone chip, just insert the chip and dial *269#. And then follow the voice prompts and go through it. Okay? All right. And you have the hotline in case you want to speak directly to a representative.
Mommy, I have 2 boys in my home. See, my leg is broken. The hospital bill, they are finished. My house money, all they are disconnected. So what for no money? You come and say it down, mommy.
Mibambo life insurance and tip and was some. A player at me, a year chance for body, who confess cow him. Me catch the book come banku. With little money like 1 city. So when you are some dear or catch him say, insurance dear. A big man talk. You just dial *269. No about hash. Where we?
Always is a chicken. It's a chicken.
With 1 Ghana cedi, 5 Ghana cedis, 15 Ghana cedis, or 30 Ghana cedis per month, you can get up to 30,000 Ghana cedis for funeral and disability cost.
Dial *269#
to sign up via Vodafone Cash today.
Wait, I'm not resistant.
Mibambo, insurance made for you.
Located in the calm green hills of Ibury is Ghana's further.
And to make a reservation, we have some new numbers. And the new numbers are 0302 955 432 or 0302 965 460.
The best decision you'll ever make. Welcome home.
Also at Cactus, Wednesdays are called this pizza special. Charlie, we need a brief pizza on Wednesday at Cactus, then you haven't had the best pizza. And there's a special run, and if you buy one large pizza, you can get a second one at 50% discount. So let me see you there on Wednesday. Let's get some pizza. Amazing Cactus Creek pizza.
Paul's Fitness Center, the premier destination for fitness in Ghana. Meet the indefatigable captain.
There are 3 things that I love doing. Number 1, workout. Number 2, workout. Number 3, workout. Workout put mind, soul, and body together.
The captain has spoken.
We're getting busy. Bright lights, yeah, they make me dizzy. Logo Liggy. I just want the Lizzie. It's a Logo Liggy. Uptown, chasing for the Lizzie. Downtown, everybody busy. Logo Liggy. Like be Logo Liggy. I just want the
Paul's Fitness Center, East Legon Branch, Lizzie Sports Complex, Cotton Street, East Legon, Accra, Ghana, 0302 519 675. Kumasi branches, Officers Mess Branch, Denyame, Major Kobina Drive, Kumasi, 0541 871 602. Golden Tulip, Kumasi City Branch, Rain Tree Street, 0322 492 647. Paul's, the premier destination for fitness in Ghana.
Say what lie we for run town.
Most of you are loving my jacket. Mr. Sao, I am if rough. The jacket is provided by Asamoah Essentials. So if you want some, this is the number to call: 0209 059 215. So call Asamoah and get yourself a pretty decent jacket.
The KSM Show.
Okay, folks, we're back from the commercial break. In the house is my dear friend, Kwadwo Omono Asamoah. Kwadwo, welcome back from the break. Kwadwo, I also know that growing up was pretty tough. You know, it's like practically a poverty background. And it's been said quite often that sometimes you appreciate people not only by the heights they have reached, but even when you know more about the depths from which they started. Okay. Considering your beginning, how far do you think you've come? Let's go back. How did it all begin?
I was born in a town in Ashanti region, Kwabre East Ebira. It's about it's a walking distance from Bonyure. I know Bonyure is very popular, so you know about Bonyure. So that's a village or a town where I came from, and I believe at the age of between 7 and 8, my father died. So growing up, I didn't have any father, and my mother remarried and left the village and went out to another village with the new husband. So I pretty much lived with my grandma. I grew up with my grandma, and when my dad died, his next of kin took me to Western region in a small village called Srumeni. That's close to Wasadamai in the Huniveri Pristia area. So that is where I actually grew up. That's where I went to elementary school for 8 years. I was lucky to complete elementary school in 8 years instead of 10 years. I was jumped twice. So I lived there for 8 years, completed my middle school, and then I left that place for what is it called? My village to start secondary school in 1981.
So, but you said something. You said you were jumped twice. This is why you were very smart. That they left you ahead of the class. Was that the thing?
Actually, I would leave that to my classmates and my what is it called? My teachers to say that. But yes, I was told on many occasions that I was a smart kid. So I didn't. From class 1, I was jumped to class 3.
Oh wow!
I went on to P6. When I got to P6, 3 weeks into the term, it was interesting. They had opened a middle school. It was a brand new middle school. They needed 30 people to go in. They had 28 students. So they needed 2 more from our class to go there. And one morning, one of my teachers, Mr. Kwadwo, he put a math problem on the board and he said, okay, who can solve it? And of course, I was able to solve it. And as soon as I was done, he said, leave these people. They are, you can go. Pick your bag and you're going to Form 1. So I was jumped from P6 to Form 1 after 3 weeks into the term.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I guess you were smart. You don't want to admit it, but now, you'll be like I said, no, I've been with school.
No, I want the classmates to say that. I want them to say
the classmates to say that. That's okay, so you went through that, and your middle school, secondary school was where? Back in.
Well, after completion of middle school, I wanted to continue my education, but I knew my father couldn't help or didn't want to help. Remember, I told you I had an uncle in New York. I mean, I give credit to this man for everything that I owe today and what I've been able to do with my life. Of course, I had friends and family members coming in and out, but he did amazing work, helped me a lot when I was growing up. So after middle school, we did not even have, because it was a village, we didn't even have common entrance, secondary school forms to fill out for the common entrance. We did technical, okay? So I filled out the technical forms and took the common entrance exams. When it came, and I don't know, I may be wrong, but we did hear that 2 students from my village school were on top in the whole of Western region at the time. This was 1981.
3 students?
2. So 2, yeah. The first one came from my school, and I was second at the time.
Okay.
And I had a scholarship at Senior Technical School, but they told me, no, you are too smart. Technical school is not good for you.
Wait a minute. The technical school was not good for you because you're too smart?
That was what the impression they gave me at the time, which I believe is wrong. I don't hold that opinion today. Okay. In fact, I wish I could have gone to the technical school.
Back then, that's the pinnacle.
Yeah. Back then, it was like if you go to, actually what I was told was, you're going to be a watch repairer if you go to a technical school, which doesn't make sense to me. But that was the impression that was created. So I was not able to go to technical school. And I wrote a letter to my uncle in Liberia. He was in Liberia at the time. So I wrote a letter to my uncle. And when he got the letter, he didn't think I wrote the letter. So he talked to one of his brothers and asked, I received a letter from Alex. I used to be Alex. So I received a letter from Alex. And I don't know if he wrote the letter, but if he did, I think we need to push him to go to secondary school.
Wow. The letter was that good. Was it written in English? Of course, in English?
Of course, in English, yeah. So
what was so impressive about the letter, do you think?
I have no idea. I don't remember the content of the letter.
But the bottom line is that if you wrote it,
yes,
then you have to say give you more education.
Exactly.
I see.
So his brother told him, Alex can write it. I know he's clever, so he can write it. And so he sent for me, and I came back to my village, Ebra, to start secondary school. So my first year was at Mansomai Secondary School at Mantuachiri. That's where I started off. And then the first year, at the end of the 3rd term, I had 3 of my masters at the time, Mr. Toku, Mr. Ifa, and Mr. Boite. they all called me and advised me to go to a school in the city so that I can pass the O level, because they didn't think that I could pass if I stayed there, even though I was smart. So they thought, okay, go ahead, talk to your family, have them send you to a city school, because I think you're smart and you do better if you go to a city school. Of course, I wasn't able to go. I came to Prempeh College to seek admission at the time, and I had to pay S amount of cities at the time that I didn't have. So I was not admitted, and I went back to Mansoma Secondary School for the second year. But I was lucky to come back to the city and completed the O level at U.S.A Secondary School.
Okay. Wow. So that's why you did the O level?
Yes.
The A's?
The A's, I went to Kwadwo Dumasi.
Kwadwo Dumasi. Okay. And then you went to Taiwan after you finished the A's? Or you did something?
After the A levels, of course, you do the national service. And actually, I didn't have the appetite to go back to school, because I have gone through a lot going to school. Not having what I need to go to school, like logistics. I didn't have books, textbooks, and even paint sometimes was difficult to get. So I was tired of going to school. I had the ability to learn. I had the energy to learn, but I didn't have the resources to push me through. So after going through all that, I didn't want to go back to school when I completed the A level. In fact, I told myself I'm not going back to school. And so I did a national service back at my village. And 2 years after that, I didn't have anything to do. And I was lucky. 6 months after national service is when I got a chance to go to Taiwan.
Oh, I see. Okay, we didn't dwell too much on Taiwan. My only interest in there was how a Ghanaian was deported from there to. But how long were you in Taiwan?
10 months.
10 months. And what did you do? So you are an illegal immigrant. Every immigrant is practically
right.
Okay. And so what were you doing in 10 months in Taiwan?
I worked in a plastic injection factory. We were doing like plastic boxes for the company that I worked for.
How did you find the job?
Well, they had agents. So when you go to Taiwan, you go to Taipei, at the hotel where you go to, they know you are there to work. So you have people coming to talk to you, and they speak very limited English, and we don't speak Chinese or Mandarin, so to speak. And so it was hard to communicate with them. But eventually we came across one of the agents that actually went to school in New York, so he spoke very good English. So we were able to connect with him, and he's the one that signs us up with the company that I worked for 10 months.
And as an agent, what do? They take a commission of your salary?
I have no idea how they do it. I think it's at the back end. So for me, I don't see anything. All I see is I have a job and I was getting paid at the end of the month.
Whatever that's
Yeah.
So let's talk about Taiwan a little bit. So you are in Taiwan, you've done 10 months doing this work. And was that the first time they swooped you when they deported you, or you had encountered it several times?
That was the first time for me, but I knew it was going on. It was something that was happening almost on a daily basis, these school people. So it wasn't new, but I didn't think we were going to get arrested. In fact, my employer, Mr. Liu, was ready to pay 8,000 Taiwan dollars at a time to get me to stay. But he wasn't ready to pay for the other guy, and the police did not accept that. So we both, yeah.
You seem to have he wanted to pay. Was it because of your exceptional performance there? Why did he want to pay to keep you?
Well, according to them, I was very productive.
According to them.
Right. According to them. When we go to work, I have to do what I have to do.
Yeah.
Understand that I came from a very poor background. And I've gone through a lot in life. So for me, I can live anywhere and everywhere.
Okay.
Every situation, I can handle it for most part. So I was doing what I was supposed to do at the time, and I guess they liked the way I worked. Yeah. And so they were ready actually to help me to stay, to pay that money to them so that they would leave me alone. But he was not ready to pay for the other guy. And he said, okay, they both have to go. And that's how come we both left.
Clearly, I think you've had one thing throughout your growth. That's what I'm picking up, They were jumping you in school, going ahead of your class. They were placing you. and you don't want to admit it, but I think you know that generally, none of my dear, fine. You know.
I was good, but again, I would want somebody else to tell me. Yeah.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. Yeah.
Okay. So now we are back to America now. You've been deported. You are now started this amazing. So you went to nursing school not a bit. You went to study nursing?
Yes. So before I even came to the US, my uncle had already suggested or advised me to go to nursing school when I arrived. Okay. Nursing school was a big thing at the time in 1990s. It was either nursing school or computer literacy. Computer literacy has just begun showing up. So I went with the nursing, and I arrived the eve of Valentine's Day in 1992. And in July, I was already in nursing school.
Okay.
So I went to nursing school in New York. It took me 5.5 years for a 2.5-year program because I was working full-time, 84 hours a week, and go to school, so I couldn't take so many credit at a time. So I had to go at a slow pace in order to be able to complete the courses and be successful. So it took me 5.5 years to complete a 2-year program, but I did it. And after that, I left New York 3 days after graduation in 1997 for Ohio.
Okay.
And I've been a nurse since 1997. And in the last couple of years, I did my master's, and now I'm a nurse practitioner. But I don't work with it. I'm only focusing on precise mobility solutions now. The only thing I do related to nursing is I just teach part-time.
Where are you teaching?
I teach clinical nursing in one of the private schools in Columbus.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's fantastic. So you're teaching the nursing, your main focus is on precise mobility.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how is the company doing? Because the rumors that I picked up, true or not true, you can tell me, is that bigger companies were interested in, I guess, the performance of precise mobility, and they want to buy into it or buy you out or something. What's going on with that?
We had a proposal about, I would say last week, from a company that wants to purchase Precise. So basically, they have obtained about $350 million and buying 7 companies with that. So they approached me. This is a guy that I already have a business with in California. So he approached me and I said, okay, I think this is a good fit, because I had already made an indication to him that sometime down the road, we may want to dispose of Precise to focus on something else. And he said, hey, this might be an opportunity. So we have the contract, non-disclosure contract already signed. We are looking into it. But it would depend on how the numbers turn out to be. Numbers turn out to be in our favor, we may let the business go, and then we'll just be at the back end, either hold shares in the company or let it go outright. So right now we have not made any decision. It's actually a fresh information that just came out last week, and we are reviewing it. We will have the professionals decide, what the numbers is going to be. I'm only focusing on the numbers. If the numbers are good for me, I'll take it. If not, we'll continue to work and improve Precise mobility.
Okay, great. So it's like a no-lose situation for you,
No.
You're good. Okay, let me just suppose that the numbers are very, very good, and they are really enticing to the extent that you are like, okay, here, you can buy whatever amount you want to buy out. What do you just stay at the back end, or are you going to start something else apart from Precise?
Well, from the conversation I'm having with my wife at the moment, chances are we will let everything go. We will do 100% if the numbers works out for us. And then we plan on investing into a franchise of some kind. That will relieve us from day-to-day management of Precise. And the franchise, we thinking about automotive industry, where we're going to buy a franchise from a company, and we're only going to do tire sales, brakes, oil change. That type of business is what we're looking into. But we also have other opportunities that we can look into, depending on how our finances will be after the sale.
Okay. You're a trained nurse, but I see that on a broader scale, you have a very large entrepreneurial spirit, you know. You're an entrepreneur and you look for opportunities. Where are you from in Ghana? You mentioned close to Bonjure. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a town, Ebira.
Let me get personal a little bit. You're married. How many kids do you have?
I have 6 children total.
Okay.
I have 2 with my current wife, and I have 4 others from 2 other women or marriages.
Okay, great.
3 boys, 3 girls.
Your wife is your partner. Do you have any of your children working for you?
Yes, I have my daughter, my 20-year-old daughter works at the office. She's also a dispatcher working under mom. And one of my sons is also a driver for us. So, yeah.
Fantastic. What's your, how do I call it? Like your personal philosophy in life? Because we will be a Michewa, you know, not my dear pa. You're very determined. You're very focused. You know, what do you see for yourself or Precise like in the next 5 years?
Well, I'm a very principled person, and to a very large extent, I'm very honest to myself, which is what I think everybody should be doing. To be able to be honest to others, you have to be honest to yourself. So I live in reality. I don't live in fantasy. So whatever I'm doing, I look at the reality of the situation. And so that has been my guiding principle in life. The ability to take risk, the ability to sacrifice, and to have a vision and to work towards the vision. So to link it to your question that you asked about Precise Mobility 5 years from now, remember we just talked about the merger that is coming up. So 5 years from now, chances are Precise may be one of a large companies. Or if that doesn't turn out to be the direction that Precise is going, we have a large room to improve on what we're doing. And remember they said the largest room in the world is what? A room for improvement. So I'm always working to improve our operations. I'm always working to get more contract. I'm always working to get Precise where it needs to be so we can stay in business. So 5 years from now, I believe the future is bright for Precise, but I would not want to go ahead of myself at this point.
I hear you. Oh, my good friend, thank you so much for joining us today. When I read about Precise Mobility, I said I have to track down the owner and have a chat with him, and it's been fantastic, man. And I'm very proud of you. Like I said, Ghanaians get here, we all get into businesses and all sorts, but you have broken in and gone into some area that is not known too much, non-emergency transportation, and you also do transportation for school kids as well, I hear.
Yes. We have special needs kids that we do transport through other transportation brokers. We have 2 of them, and the school just started. So if you look at the pictures that I sent you, you see a yellow sign on some of the on the vehicles. Those are the requirement from the school district to have a school sign on it when you have a kid in the vehicle. So yes, we do transport school kids. Those are special needs kids. They're not able to ride with other children in a regular school bus. So that is where we come in to transport them to school.
Fantastic. Kwadwo, we have just under 20 seconds, but I want your parting words to Ghanaians, to people who are entering the U.S.A, the kinds of attitudes that they need to have to break through barriers like you have done. Let's make that a minute.
Well, thank you so much for having me. And at this point, I would say that I would not advise anybody who holds a position or a good job in Ghana to travel outside the country. Ghana is a great country. If you have a job like you do, you don't need to travel. You can only come here to visit and then go back home, and that's perfect. However, if you were like me, or if you are like me at the time, and you don't have a job and you want to travel, when you come here, there's a lot of opportunities in this country. It depends on how you want to live your life. It depends on your vision. It depends on the risk that you want to take. And so I would advise anybody who doesn't have a job and have the a chance to travel outside the country, be U.S., Canada, or any other part of the world, so to speak, to go. However, when you get there, it's up to you how you want to live your life, how you want to move up, because the opportunities are there. You just have to tap into it.
Fantastic. I'm so grateful, and I'm glad we had the chance to meet and have this chat. I'm looking forward to visiting Ghana. You visiting Ghana one of these days, then we can hang out when you get over.
Yes, sir. All things being equal, I should be in Ghana in December, latest in January next year, if everything goes on well.
Fantastic. And everything goes on
we
well.
met one time, and my wife took a picture with you at some point at a Holiday Inn hotel.
Really?
So, yeah, you just did not know it, and I did not.
You took a picture with me?
Yeah, she took a picture with you.
Your wife took a picture with me?
Yeah, but I was there, but I was not part of it. She's the extrovert, and I'm the introvert guy. So
wow.
Yeah, she can make friends just like that. And so she walked up to you and, had a chit chat and took a picture with you.
Oh my goodness.
Holiday. Yeah.
Tell her to send me.
We'll see you when we come over. Yeah.
Okay. And what's her name, by the way? I didn't even ask.
Harriet.
Harriet. Okay. Harriet. And the name of your daughter working with you?
Abby, he's Ajwa, by the way. That's how we got Ajwa.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah.
Folks, I have to sign off at this time saying a big thank you. And I hope you have been inspired as much as I have been. And the great advice there that I want to all to stick in your mind is if you have something good that you're doing in Ghana, hold on and improve on it. But if you have to leave, make sure that when you get there, you take advantage of the opportunities, because there's opportunity to succeed and opportunity to fail miserably. So the choice is in your hands. Kwadwo, thank you very, very much. Okay, people, thank you very much for joining us. I'm going to sign off at this point, and I'll do that as I always do in my same old words. We are out of what the whole world say. Yeah.